Hi, Dirty Girl here with a vintage sales report for the month of February 2018. It was not, it didn't feel like a really good month, but then when I compared it to last year, it was slightly up from last year, so I guess it was okay. The first thing I want to show you is this huge Asian butterfly pendant necklace with dangles. It is silver plated, I think. It's definitely not sterling. But that sold for $28, and I paid $5 for that at the flea market. And I think my computer's going to be extra slow today, unfortunately. Okay, this is a sterling silver, a Mexican sterling silver modernist bracelet with some, I think I figured out that it was green agate. It's made by Los Ballesteros, which is a very good Mexican maker. I got this free from one of my in-laws, I can't remember which one now, and sold it for $95. So that was a good one. And this is a sterling silver and moonstone pendant necklace. It was quite a large piece, 30 by 12 millimeter stone. And I got that for $10 at the flea market and sold it for $58. And this is an Art Deco silver plate compact from the 1930s with machine etching, nice octagon shape. I paid $5 for that at the flea market and sold it for $32. And this is a cute 1970s pop art print by Margot Johnson. Actually dates to 1970 with a zebra mother and baby. I got this at in a big box of ephemera that I bought for $10, so the price of this was under $1, and it sold for $25. And it was, not framed or anything, and it had a few slight condition issues. And this is a gorgeous silk piano scarf, a great big thing that you would hang over a piano, or you could use it as a big shawl. It's from the, well, this says 1970s. Isn't that strange? That's not correct. It's from the 1920s, and all this is hand embroidered, and it's just beautiful. Let's see if I can show you more of what it looks like. There's some of the embroidery. It's just so pretty. This came from my sister-in-law, so I paid nothing for that, and sold it for $190. Yes. I wish I could claim that I found it, but she's the one who found it. She has such a good eye. This is just an interesting thing. It's a piece of pottery from TEPCO, and it was made for the U.S. Army Medical Department. It has this little seal on it. There's this it's kind of faded, but you can sort of see it. Dates from the 1950s. I am not sure where I got that. Somebody gave it to me. And so I paid nothing for it, and I sold it for $25. Anything that's U.S. Army vintage or U.S. Armed Services of any kind, or even other countries' armed services, things seem to do really well. This is a sterling silver and opal pendant necklace. Had a really pretty little opal in there. And let's see. I paid $10 for that at the flea market, and I sold it for $55. And this is my bronze bookend. It's after a famous sculpture by Cyrus Edwin Dallin, I think you say, called Appeal to the Great Spirit. This was, you may have seen it, or I'm not sure if I've posted the video yet, but it was one of my bonehead purchases, because it's obviously been dropped, and it is really, really, you can see his head is like flattened, and it's leaning over, his nose is nicked, it's not in very good shape. But this guy kept lowering the price on it. You know, I kept saying I didn't want it, and he kept lowering the price until I had to have it. I paid $5 for it at the flea market, and I sold it for $25, and it sold fairly quickly, so would have been, I'm sorry that it was damaged, because it was a really pretty piece otherwise. And this is a lovely Victorian amethyst ring. It's kind of an unusual, maybe not Victorian, maybe Edwardian, but it was a big spherical amethyst in this sterling silver setting. And I paid $10 for that at the flea market and sold it for $36. This is a black beaded purse from the 1950s, handmade in Japan for the Broadway department store. Had it around for a while. The beaded purses seems like they're not selling quite as well as they used to, but I did only pay $4 for it, and I sold it for $28. And this is a branch coral bracelet, little teeny tiny pieces of branch coral, and bought that for $7 at the flea market and sold it for $32. And this is a Ralph Polsini designed combination brooch and dress clips or shoe clips. It's kind of like the Coro duets, but it's not Coro. It's from the 1930s. It has a what do you call it, patent number on the back. Let's see if I can show it to you. It's right there. And when I looked up the patent number is when I found the information about it, that it was Ralph Polsini. And these are highly collectible. This came from my sister-in-law, so I paid nothing for it, and I sold it for $58. And it was in really nice condition. And this is a couple of jade carved little stemmed cordial glasses. They're little tiny things. They come in this fitted box. I got these at the rummage sale at my mother-in-law's retirement place and paid $4 for the set, and they sold for $25, and they sold very, very quickly. I had a lot of comps to look at on this, so I thought $25 was a pretty fair price. I was surprised that they got snapped up so quickly, because there's quite a few of them out there. But I was happy. This is a lovely embroidered Mexican dress. It's in the 1970s, maybe. Let's see if I can show you how pretty the embroidery is. Really nicely done. That came from my sister-in-law also, and that sold for $75. The embroidered Mexican dresses and shirts really do pretty well. Those and the ones from Guatemala too, especially if they're in good condition, seem to sell pretty well for me. I got such a huge shipment of textiles from my sister-in-law, and I'd been putting off getting them listed because they all required excuse me, ironing, etc. But now that I've gotten them listed, they're all selling. And this is a pair of 14 karat gold and opal earrings. They're little tiny things, only 3.76 grams. I don't really know where these came from. For the longest time, I could only find one. So I had this one earring hoping the other one would turn up, and it finally did. It had ended up in my my scrap heap, my jewelry that I was going to lot up and sell as a junk drawer. I don't know how it got in there, but anyway, I sold the pair for $150, and again, I don't know where they came from. Had them forever. And this is a pair of chrome-plated veterinary irrigation syringes. I bought a lot of 4 of these at the flea market. I paid $25 for the lot, so $7 and change for each one. And I sold the pair of these for $34. I have also sold a single one for $19. It was a little fancier. And then I sold a single one for $25. And I have another one still for sale for $25, I think. I think that's how it works. Not likely to find those again, but I thought they were interesting. And this is a Guatemalan weeple shirt. That's the kind that it's kind of a bat wing. And this is a bit of an unusual look. Pretty embroidery. Anyway, another from my sister-in-law that sold for $44. And these are some Mexican sterling silver clip-on earrings made by Laton, L-A-T-O-N. I paid nothing for those, got them from my sister-in-law, and I sold those for $30. They're probably from the 1980s. And this is cute. I didn't sell this for a whole lot, but I just thought it was worth showing you. It's a little bank in the shape of a safe. It's made by Nutco, and I paid $4 for that at the flea market and sold it for $22. And last on my list is a Mexican sterling silver bangle. Came from a big lot of silver that I bought on eBay. So I paid about $1 for this. I haven't showed that haul video yet. It's coming up. But, sorry, had to sneeze. I sold it for, the suspense builds. I sold it for $32. And that is it. Thank you so much for watching. And let's see, I probably failed to mention that this is not all my sales. These are just the ones that were a little more profitable and notable. And the prices do not include shipping. I sell almost everything on Etsy as buyer pays shipping, and it's what they pay is usually very close to what I spend. And this also doesn't include the cut that I have to give to Etsy. So I thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and comment if you care to, and subscribe if you haven't. And that's all I have to say. Thanks. See you later. Bye.